Wait, really basic and vague question, I guess, but what do you all answer when people just say that socialism, communism is idealistic and impossible to achieve? I mean, I disagree. And at least with market socialism, I can point to Yugoslavia as a pretty good case study in how it actually does work pretty gosh darn well. You know, um, I like market socialism works. It works very well. Yugoslavia is one of the hardest hit by World War II, one of the countries hardest hit by World War II, and it was also one of the fastest recoveries in Europe. Um, and they basically experienced like a mini golden age uh, because of their market socialism. And hey, guess what? I think golden ages are good, and we should do the things that they did. The reason Yugoslavia failed and fell apart was largely not due to worker co-op structure or decommodification. It was mostly due to the oil bust and of the 1980s and the fall of the Soviet Union, and also like the 1 2 3 punch of all these things plus loans from the IMF. And basically, the IMF is a tool that capitalist countries use to undermine other countries. So yeah, essentially, uh, the issue wasn't with their economic system; it was with the external factors that really gave them a wallop. All right. So, we're going to talk about the story. Trump campaign sued for attempting to disenfranchise black voters. The Trump campaign has repeatedly attempted to use the judicial system to overturn the president's defeat to President elect Joe Biden, filing more than 2 dozen unsuccessful lawsuits since Election Day. Um, a cake, please. Please send your link to a mod. And that mod can then post your link. And yeah, all right. But the president's campaign now finds itself on the other side of a legal case in a newly filed federal lawsuit alleging that it violated the Voting Rights Act of 1965 when it sought to disenfranchise hundreds of thousands of voters, particularly African Americans, in metropolitan areas of Michigan. It's not even about the success of President Trump and the Trump's campaign's attempts to overturn the election. Monique Lynn Luce, assistant counsel of the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund, which filed the lawsuit, told Yahoo News. The very attempt to overturn it by disenfranchising and delegitimizing black voters is what we believe is unlawful, and it's also dangerous and corrosive to our democracy. Amazing. Amazing lawsuit that incredible. I love this. Oh yeah, no surprise at all. I can't feel a thing. This is just an incredible situation. Um, the lawsuit filed Friday in Washington D.C. federal court was brought on behalf of Michigan Welfare Rights Organization and three Detroit residents over Trump's apparent effort to sway local officials in Wayne County, Michigan, and state legislators to hold off on certifying votes or interfere with the electoral process. President Trump met with Michigan House Speaker Lee Chatfield and Senate Majority Leader Mike Shirkey at the White House on Friday in what was viewed as an attempt by Trump to convince the GOP legislators to cooperate with a plan to override the will of the voters in Michigan. The lawmakers said after the meeting they intend to follow the law regarding the selection of Michigan's electors. Shirkey told the Associated Press that Trump talked about Michigan election results with them, but added that the meeting was harmless, the AP reported Tuesday. Talked with Michigan State. Whoa, did not click on that. All right. Shirkey confirms to AP Trump talked about Michigan election results with GOP delegation. He says at one point Trump got Giuliani to call in, and Giuliani repeated the Wayne County allegations he had raised in a news conference last Thursday. Shirkey says meeting was innocuous. He still thinks he's on The Apprentice. Yep. Yeah, I mean, like one of the few limits of presidential pardon power is that he can't pardon himself. It's like one of the few things that like is generally agreed upon. If the president can like pardon himself, then he's effectively above the law, which he already is in many other ways. Um, why would he need to pardon himself? Well, there's a lot of crimes that he is currently in the process of being sued for. Um, Palmer and Hartman initially voted against certification, sparking outrage on social media, backpedaled and voted to certify the results. AP reported that the president then personally called the two officials, after which they filed affidavits seeking to rescind their certification, which can't be done. Oh, gosh. During the meeting, one of the Republican canvassers said she would be open to certifying the rest of Wayne County, which is predominantly white, but not Detroit, which is predominantly black, the complaint said. What the fuck? The lawsuit also cites a press conference last Thursday in Washington during which Rudy Giuliani, one of Trump's lawyers, claimed without evidence that the campaign had identified 300,000 illegitimate ballots. These ballots were all cast in Detroit, Giuliani said, according to the complaint. It changes the result of the election in Michigan if you take out Wayne County. Now, guys, I do want to say, as I usually do, that this is an attempt at a fascist coup. Like, what Giuliani and Trump are doing, that is an attempt at a fascist coup. Which isn't funny, but the bumbling way that they go about it is objectively hilarious. Also, underneath the hilarity is the knowledge that it is deeply disturbing and bad and hurts our democracy. If you just don't count votes and subvert democracy, you win, right? True. True. Do we need to worry about woke scold type people in our movement? I'm on Insta and there's a lot of people there that are extremely angry and exclusionary. I would say maybe. There are a lot of woke scolds. I would say do your best to ignore them. But also don't confuse valid criticism with someone being a woke scold. And I would also say that, like, always remember there are more people who are not online than there are people in, like, Instagram communities, right? So, again, if people are being woke scoldy, just reach out to people who aren't woke scoldy. Like, reach out to fellow leftists who are not toxic like that. Reach out to, people who are not your ideological allies and try and make them your allies. These are processes that we can use to our advantage, even if, like, woke scolds are not something that we find pleasant to be around, you know? I hope that made sense as a statement. Yahoo News sent an email to the Trump campaign seeking comment, and court records don't yet list an attorney in this particular case. Let's see. The campaign denied going after black voters. Senior legal advisor Jenna Ellis told the station that their only goal is to ensure safe, secure, and fair elections. The Michigan Board of State Canvassers voted Monday to certify the state's election results after days of speculation over whether outside influence from Trump's campaign or false allegations of voter fraud would complicate a fairly routine process. Black people accounted for roughly 39% of the population of Wayne County, the largest county in the state, which includes Detroit, according to the most recent census data. Biden won there by more than a 2-to-1 margin and won the state by more than 150,000 votes. Yeah, this has wider ramifications. President Trump and his campaign have repeatedly and falsely raised the specter of widespread fraud in Detroit and other cities with large black populations, including Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and Atlanta. In an effort to suggest votes from those cities should not be counted, the complaint says, this is absolutely true. This was, by the way, something I pointed out. It's an underlying ethos of why they're pointing at these cities. Like Milwaukee, for example. I think Milwaukee, last time I checked, had like 80% of Wisconsin's black population. Um, these are states that are primarily black, or cities that are primarily black. So I'm interested to see how this case pans out. The new lawsuit asks the court to declare that the Trump campaign's Trump's campaign engaged in conduct that violated the Voting Rights Act and seeks to prohibit the campaign and anyone acting in concert or on its behalf from continuing to exert pressure on state or local officials to disenfranchise plaintiffs or other black voters by not certifying the results of the November 2020 election or by appointing an unlawful slate of electors that disenfranchises plaintiffs or other black voters. Interesting. Yeah, voter suppression is alive and well. True. I think that a court could discourage frivolous litigation. Justin Levitt, an elections expert and professor at Loyola Marymount University, told Yahoo News. But it's extremely unlikely that a court not presently hearing the litigation will be the court to engage. True. Sought sanctions against Trump campaign's counsel in federal court in the form of striking down from the record the two affidavits submitted by Hartman and Palmer in Wayne County. Interesting. All right. This isn't quite as funny as I thought it was going to be initially, but it's still pretty lolsy. Some courts have been making it quite clear that they find the claims meritless, and if the meritless litigation continues, defendants may well seek sanctions in the cases where they are sued, Levitt said. They're frivolous in the sense that the legal claims are baseless, Clark said. They're not frivolous to the extent that we have a sitting president who's placed a strong target on the backs of black voters. It's hard to ignore the grim racial reality driving this effort. True! True! All right. That was a fun little break. Fun little break from everything going on, you know? If you've been enjoying this content, by the way, if you've been enjoying me talking about socialism, debating randos, talking with all kinds of interesting and fantastic folks in my community, please hit that follow button. I'm gonna be advocating for myself. I wanna be able to hit 850 followers today. That'd be fantastic. Let's do it. Hit that follow button.